All right, welcome everybody to MaxSpeedTV's live coverage of the Old Fart Super Speedway Series. Talladega Super Speedway tonight, week number 5 of the series. In the booth with me, as always, welcome Dwayne.
Hey guys.
Welcome.
Hey, the stream.
We're alive here, Thomas.
Info.
Don't mean to interrupt you.
It's not working on our end.
I'm watching it live on YouTube right now. We are live. We were just, we had a splash screen up and playing some music, but we were good. Dwayne, well, welcome in, buddy. Sorry you got interrupted there.
That's all right. But yeah, it's good to be back here. Talladega, you should see got a lot of cars out here tonight. You should see a lot of 3-wide racing. I got a feeling it's going to be pretty fun.
Yeah, looks like we've got about 38 cars checked in for this thing right now. I can't seem to find a single car out on the track, but I can hear 100 of them, but I can't find one in the list that is actually out there. There we go. Now we got some. We're better. Real quick, run down the top 10 in points there, if you would, for us, sir.
All right, coming into tonight, Larry Yingling with 2 wins is standing top of the points. Tony Wright is in second place, and he is 29 points behind the lead. Dude Conrad up 2 spots, the third this week, 46 points behind the lead. Michael Pegg in fourth, 47 points behind. Darren Reeser fifth, 48 points back. Frank Lamuglia sixth, 54 points behind the lead. Eric Laurie 57 points behind the lead in seventh. David Adamson 8th and 61 points back. Ninth is Maurice Johnson, 64 points behind. And 10th is Kenneth Mikesell, 66 points behind the lead.
Yeah, I was looking at that, and the top 3 guys in the points all have wins with, as you said, Yingling picking up the 2 of the first 4, so we'll see how Larry does tonight. He can pick up his third.
He's run for 3 in a row here tonight.
Well, that's why he's got a 40-point lead or a 30-point lead going into the night. I mean, you pick up 2 wins, it's easy to build a big points lead.
Absolutely, and he is definitely shown that he can get around here. This is race number 5 of the 4. He's got top finishes, 3 of those finishes in the top 5, and he just is proving right now consistency is what you need to win a championship. Right now, he's the man to beat.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to, being consistent, especially on these plate tracks, because anything can and usually does happen. And if you're one of the guys that keeps your car clean and keeps it in the top 10, it's easy to score points. Obviously, he has won at both tracks since we go between Talladega and Daytona. And if he could do 3 in a row, that would probably put him pretty much in command of this thing for the last few races of the season.
Yeah, but breathing down his neck right now is Tony Wright and Dude Conrad. They've been up there consistently, not quite as consistent. They both have 2 top 5s and 3 top 10s, but they're still in the hunt for this thing mathematically, as long as they have a good night. But they're going to have some help. Probably Larry have a couple bad races if they're going to get back in this thing.
Yeah, we're watching Dude Conrad right now, and he just kind of clipped the outside wall there in turns 1 and 2 for some reason, all by his lonesome.
Wow. Huh.
Not something that you would see very often, especially from somebody that is always in the top. And I know last season he finished in like the top 3 in points in this series. So that's somebody that's very consistent over a long time. So
He could be trying something new in this setup that just didn't work out for him. This isn't a fixed setup series. They run their own sets here, so it could be he was just trying something out, and clearly it didn't work.
well, they've got about 20 seconds, and they're going to be ready to go to qualifying. When they do that, we're going to play our national anthem. We'll be ready for race time immediately following that, so stay tuned, guys.
we take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Foley, for that fantastic rendition of our national anthem. Watching the drivers now out on the track in qualifying. Haven't got any official times as of yet.
Now, looks like Chris Hanna is going to be the first one to pull in that time here as he comes around to finish his first lap.
We'll watch the ticker here on the left to see who ends up with the quick time. First time posted 50.622 seconds. And that's already bested by a 5.87. Time's starting to roll in now. Frank Gramuglia at 50.587 atop the pylon. There goes Jenkins to the top. Gary Jenkins 5.41. 5.38. Jimmy Crow.
Gabe Butler comes across.
Yep.
And some of these guys are going one and done. And right now, Gary Jenkins, he's running 2 laps trying to better his position here.
Back of that car squatted all the way down, nose up in the air. I saw this from the pro race a week or two ago while I was on vacation, and a weird look, but man, the cars are fast that way. Well, that car got just a little sideways there. Does not improve. His spot still sitting in third. Gabe Butler still on top. 50.536 seconds. 50.538 for Jimmy Crow. Gary Jenkins there did not improve his time. He was one half of a thousandth off of his fastest time. But his 5.41 good for third. Looks like we got about a minute to go here. Anything you're expecting to see tonight out of these 40 drivers?
Well, with this many drivers and the cool track temperatures that we have right now, track temperature 66 degrees, I got a feeling we're going to see 3 wide often and early. I would say we might not get to lap 5 before we see 3 wide.
Yeah, and I expect to see quite a bit of 3 wide racing. These guys able to handle themselves very well. They've been doing this for a long time with each other, so everybody knows what everybody kind of can do and what they can't. But looking at that fuel window, you're looking at somewhere between 20 and 25 laps. I think that might be stretching that just a bit. It may be about 22 for the maximum amount of laps, isn't it?
Usually about 22. They're running 65% of fuel tonight, so not quite a fuel tank. So yeah, about 22 laps we should see them coming to pit road.
We'll get ready once we know everybody's all done with their qualifying. We'll run through the grid here. That is not. Yeah, Larry Yingling came in there and snatched that pole away. At the end, Maurice Johnson was a little bit right behind him.
Yep, and it doesn't sound like much, but it means all the difference in the world. 0.04 of a second. In fact, the top 10 are split less than 1/10 of a second.
Yeah, so those two are going to start in our front row. Row 2 going to be Gabe Butler and Jimmy Crow. Third row is Gary Jenkins and Dude Conrad. Row 4 on the inside, Raymond Rittenauer. On his outside, going to be Eric Laurie. And in row 5, Frank Lamugia on the inside and Larry Boyle. Dwayne?
All right. Darren Reeser rolls off 11th. To the outside of him is going to be Michael Hauser, 12th. Rick McKinney, 13th. Craig White, 14th. Michael Pegg, 15th. Paul Witt, 16th. 17th is going to be Chris Hanna. Al Cena is going to be 18th. Tony Wright, 19th. And rounding out the top 20 is going to be Harold Deckard.
Michael Hallett starts 21st with Paul Sheldon 22nd. 23rd, Jimbo Lacerdo. 24th is going to be David Overstreet. 25th, Rachel Hunt. And 26th, Jason Beach. Inside the 14th row in the 27th position, L.G. Whaley, and on his outside, Robbie Singleton. That makes up 28. And 29th and 30th going to be Kenneth Mikesel and Mark Robertson.
Hornets going to start 31st with Brent Lee to his outside, Michael Martin 33rd, Mitchell Wilkes 34th, Charles Johnson 35th, Thomas Ackridge 36th, Noel
Coors. Yep.
37th, Diego Vasquez 38th, and 39th rounding out the field is going to be Jacob Edson.
So 39 cars starting. They get ready to roll them off here. Good long line of cars. They'll make the single pace lap. They're going to go green the next time we come by that start-finish line. I know the last time you and I called a race, a little bit of a rocky run for the guys. First night, jitters maybe. Hopefully things will be a little different tonight. I want to say we had about 5 cautions in the last one you and I called.
Yep, and we should see a little less than that. A little bit wider track than what we were at last time. We were at Daytona, if I remember correctly. This one's going to be a little bit wider. Should see a little bit more 3 wide. A lot more room here at Talladega. So these guys should be able to put on quite a show here.
Yeah, I want to say we had 43 cars the last time.
I believe we did.
And we made it about 15 to 17 laps before we caught our first caution, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And they were 2 wide most of that at Daytona. And good look, the low line racing number 67 of Larry Yingling here on the pole. He'll be bringing us to the green in just a matter of moments. These guys rolling through turns 3 and 4 right now.
There you're getting a bonus point for picking up the pole. And we'll see if, as the pace car ducks off here, if he can pick up a bonus point for leading the first lap. So far in all of our races this season, the pole setter has not led the first lap.
That is not a huge surprise because that outside line will get a run on the exit of 2 and the exit of 4. And if you can stay within about a half a car length, you got a pretty good shot at beating them to the line from that outside row.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag is out. We are underway at Talladega Speedway. Old Clark 7 Racing.
Looks like they're going to probably stay 2x2 for those first 3 rows for sure until we exit turn 2 here. We'll see what that does for that outside row down the backstretch. Going to keep a pretty good gap between them. No side drafting as of yet. Well, there it is on the outside. Maurice Johnson was pretty close. If he can stay that close when the exit turn 4, he's got a shot to lead lap 1 from the outside, and will keep the string alive.
Jimmy Crow giving him a good push. He's going to do it. Going to be close at the line.
Going to be very close at the line. We'll see what timing and scoring says, and it is Yingling.
19 thousandths of a second. He broke it.
So the string is over. The pole sitter for the first time this season leads lap number 1 for the Old Fart Super Speedway Series. But they are still 2 wide, 20 deep.
Too wide and within 1 second of each other.
Get back in here, get a look from the helmet cam. Back here at about 7th place on the inside, Raymond Rittenauer.
And I knew it wouldn't take them long. Here we go. We're already 3 wide.
Yeah, they're moving 3 wide here. It was Jimmy Crow way at the top. Got out of line, got himself to the top side. That may be a strategic maneuver on his part to move back. Maybe pick up a teammate or two. It did definitely stall out that top line, and now Maurice Johnson has fallen all the way back to about 4th.
And here goes LG Whaley. Jason Beach making their run. They moved up there before Jimmy Crow moved out of line. They saw him move out of line and let him go by.
Yep. And watching Whaley up there, that baby blue MaxSpeedTV machine on the top side. They are trying to come forward. If they can keep that side draft going, I think they got a chance to move up a few positions. They really could use 1 or 2 more cars behind them.
Yeah, you really need to have 4 or 5 would be best case scenario or more, but you can get there with 4.
If they can just stay consistent and stay locked on each other, they will continue to inch forward. The strides won't be huge, but they will make strides.
They come now, and you see Jason Beach getting off of LG a little bit, getting some air into the front of the car.
Yeah, you can only push for so long before the oil and the water temperature lights start blinking in these things. Those openings are not very big, especially when you can set them up yourself. You can close them down about as much as you like. Here those guys come on the top. Yeah, I was just getting ready to say that, Dwayne. Here they come on the top side. They are almost up 3 wide, 2 deep at the front row.
And Michael Hauser moves up to join them on the high side. A little further back. Al Cena has also made, or I'm sorry, Paul Sheldon has also made the move to the top. With 4 cars now, but Sheldon's a little further back. Can't really help him, and he drops out of it.
Well, with just those 3 on the top, they went from about 7 rows back to now challenging row number 2. And if Jimmy Crow gets up there and he pushes just a little bit on Hauser, and Hauser gets back up there too, these guys, those 4 on the top, they're going to make a charge. They might go around everybody on the high side there.
Here they come.
Who was that pulled out a line right there and jumped up in front of them?
Front of LG, and that caused Jason Beach to get all squirrely. Broke up that top line completely.
Yeah, I think he had to check up because LG had to check up. When McKinney moved up there, LG maybe checked up just a touch, and Beach tapped him on the back end, and it got his car out of shape. Now they're going to hang him out on the top side by himself. They all moved down one line so they could get back together.
And that is not what he wanted to see. And he's dropping through the field quickly. He's already back to 22nd.
I was going to say he found a hole back there somewhere in the low 20s or the high teens, and he moved back in line, but he moves right back to the top again. Well, still, Larry Yingling out in front of Gabe Butler. Those two have been locked up since we dropped the green flag nose to tail.
And not much change going on up front. Right now, the battle is about 10th back.
Look at everybody trying to just survive right to that first set of pit stops. Green flag pit stops seem to shake everything up. We saw in the last race you and I did a couple of mistakes getting on the pit road, and it broke the field completely up. And if they don't get a late race caution, those guys probably never come back together.
Exactly, and it happens week in, week out. You say it every week. These things are won and lost on pit road.
You hear him now, Mr. Hooper? I turned him up a bit. Some people were saying they couldn't hear you. I had to go in and crank you up a little bit.
That better?
I'm hoping so. Still good racing up here at the front. Yingling able to hang on. Butler's been pushing him, and you know, Gary Jenkins has been in that line too. Hasn't moved. About the first three cars in each row have not switched. They have not done anything but stay in line.
Yeah, and right now they're just focused on controlling the race, logging laps. And if these guys are going to get by them at all, they're going to force them to do it on that third line. So right now, guys like LG and Chris Beach, they're just, or Jason Beach rather, they're just sitting there biding their time.
Yeah, I was going to look and see if we could see a kind of a who's forward, who's back, but that button didn't work for me, so. I'll get that fixed.
Our biggest mover would be Paul Sheldon. He's in 9th currently, just in front of LG. Started 22nd on the field.
Yeah, definitely your hard charger today already. And only 10 laps into this, about to complete lap number 10 right here. Still too wide all the way back through the field. No one really venturing to peek out right now.
And these guys are just looking to log some laps. We're only on lap 11. Still a long way to go to get to 75. We're only halfway through this first fuel run here. So got a feeling these guys are just content to ride around right now.
We've got Jacob Edson and Brent Lee, neither car on track. And it's looking like Jimmy Crow's car way at the back. He went high early, and he moved himself all the way to the back of this field. The 19 car not interested in being in the middle of whatever the melee could be here.
Not necessarily a bad strategy this early on.
As long as he can stay in touch with the pack, I think he'll be all right, because it doesn't look like he's got a whole lot of help right back there. He's just trying to pick a line that's not too tight, nose to tail there, and just try to stay in the draft. And maybe after the last set of pit stops, he'll pick up a couple of teammates and they'll make a good hard charge here.
One guy I'm a little concerned about right now is Jacob Edson. Started the race 39th. He has lost the draft and is now finding himself 23 seconds behind the pack and falling.
I had his car completely off track. Now he's back on. Yeah, he's way back. You know, it's weird because earlier I saw that car warping just a little bit. I was seeing smoke puffs out of it, and I wonder if maybe something happened and timing and scoring lost track of him, and that's just where they put him.
Sounds like that could be having connection issues. Wouldn't be the first time.
So inside of 10 laps until we make our first set of pit stops, do you think anybody's going to try to short pit?
Probably not. Not this early. They're going to run it out We'll probably, if anybody's going to try to short pit, I would say it would be the next set of pit stops. But these guys, usually when the first set comes, everybody else follows the next lap.
And if they're still in a big pack like this, that's when the melee could happen.
Yes. Especially these guys come in hot, try to make up as much time as they can, lock it down, and slide through the grass.
Well, I think Larry Yingling has led every single lap of this thing.
He has.
So not only did he break the string of the pole sitter not leading the first lap, but he has led all of them and said, I'm just going to put a stamp on this thing. Maybe he's going to get a bonus point for most laps led.
Could be. He's already led 14. We'll see if he can lead them. If they let him lead them too much longer, it's going to be hard to catch him.
Still the two wide freight train, 20 rows almost. I mean, we're back there about 12, 13 rows for sure. Then they kind of single out behind that right back here. Oh, probably about 25th, 26th. Right behind Craig White in the 3 car there. Everybody got kind of single file for a minute.
Yeah, I'm a little more surprised we haven't seen more 3 wide racing. We normally do, but everybody's just kind of content to run where they are right now and see where it's going to fall. And we do have some people ducking out of that outside line right now, so we may be seeing...
Oh, there's people pitting.
Well, there's your answer. We got a few people short pitting right now.
Yeah, we got a handful of them pitting right now. Harold Decker, one of them. Hornet. I just mentioned Craig White a second ago. He's in.
I'll say this is pretty surprising, so we'll have to see.
I think these guys might have just wanted to do it before everybody else just so they could get out of the pack. There's about 6 of them here.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this works out for them. Now, this might also work out for Jacob Edson, too. He's just now going by this group as they come off pit road. They should be able to pick him up and keep him from going a lap down.
Yeah, the other group ought to just about be coming off. Yeah, they're in the tri-oval right now, so they are not far behind these guys.
Now, Craig White here, he's by himself coming off the road. He's got a great train here. These guys come off with you.
Yeah, they're coming off of turn 2 right now, and he is just in front of them. It looks like about the first 10, 12 cars on the inside have gotten that single file line to break free of the outside. There's only about 8 cars in that outside line. Those guys are falling back quickly.
Now we'll see if they come this time or if they run it out here.
Got more coming in. LG Whaley in that group of cars headed for pit road.
Jason Beach, this
Yep.
seems to be more of a ploy to try to spread the field out and get themselves separated because, this is about 5 laps earlier than, they would have, they could, these other guys can stay out there for 5 more laps before they have to worry about coming in. I don't know. Interesting to see that these short pit strategies right now.
Rachel Hunt and Tony Wright in on pit road right now too, along with Hauser. Michael Hauser was in there. Looks like Jimmy Crow's car still sitting on pit road. Back up front. Guys out in front, the top about 10, still single file, and they're going around again. They are not coming in this time, so they'll be catching that group that's coming off of pit road probably about the time they exit turn 2.
Not sure if there was a penalty there, but Jimmy Crow's still on pit road.
He came in with the first group, didn't he? So he's been in there for a couple of laps. You see the leaders lapping up here That is the 11 and I believe the 62 car right there.
Thomas Ackridge and Brent
Yep.
Lee.
It is. So probably about 2 more laps at the most, and we'll see this front group, which is now a big single file line. About 14 cars long before you get back to the 2 wide back there. We'll see if any of these guys decide to come to pit road this time by.
Now, the worst thing that could happen for these guys like Thomas Ackridge, Brent Lee, Hornet, Greg White, if the caution comes out now, they're going to be trapped 1 lap down.
I saw 1 car headed for pit road.
Well, Coors, and he came in by himself. That is not good.
That's a bad idea. Unless he's hoping to grab in with one of those groups that pitted early and is barely in front of these leaders, and he can get out and somehow grab that draft.
Yeah, 2-tire stop for him. Now, he may have a chance as that group with LG Whaley, Jason Beach, they're just now entering turn 4. He can get back on the track before they get by him. He may be able to pick up their draft. But I don't think that's going to happen as they're coming to the start-finish line, and he's just now heading into 1.
Yeah, they're going to go right on by him. That may have been his hope, but it's just a little bit too much time on pit road, and he is not going to grab this group.
Larry Yingling gives up the lead to bring a huge pack of cars down pit road.
There's 10 or 12 cars in that pack, but they all make it onto pit road safely.
There, and that leaves 9 cars that still have to pit. Al Cena takes over the lead.
Yeah, Cena, Witt, Gramuglia, Boyle, Reeser, Pegg, Johnson, Hanna, and Howlett. Probably going to see them come in the next time by. There goes Yingling off pit road, and his in-tow buddy, Gabe Butler, right behind him. So the first 3 come out, 1, 2, 3 again after the pit stops. We'll get around here as Cena and these guys. Cena going to go into pit road this time by. And the regulators, it looks like all of them coming to pit road.
Yep, everybody has now made a pit stop. And look at this. LG Whaley is barreling down. He might be able to get up here, and we're going to be 3 wide for the lead very shortly. Michael Hauser backs out of it. And here he goes, LG Whaley to the lead. From the outside line, he will lead that lap.
But Yingling and company fighting back. It's 5 on the top, 5 on the bottom.
And interesting to see if you saw these guys pass up that group of 9 who came in, who waited. They're going to be way behind this field now.
Yeah, that group that came in that we're watching right now got in about perfectly, and they got out and got in line. And all it takes is somebody to separate in the group when you're coming on or off pit road, and it'll slow you way down.
And has indeed stretched this field out.
So after the full cycle of pit stops, Yingling and Butler back to running 1-2. Gary Jenkins right there on the inside in the 9 car. Still pushing those guys, but LG Whaley, Jason Beach, Dude Conrad, everybody back in. There's about 12 cars in this lead pack right here.
Yep. Top 11, and then you have to go 4.5 seconds back to 12. And
Paul Witt.
He's got a big group there of about 10 to 15 cars.
Rachel Hunt on the top side there.
And then the third group is about 8 seconds behind, starting with the 27th place car of Michael Howlett. He's got about a 7-car pack there.
A lot of different pit strategies playing out, and we are seeing what that does to a race.
And these guys up front, they are right where they want to be as Harold Deckard ends up going another lap down here. I'm sorry, 1 lap down.
7 cars not on the lead lap. Jimbo Lacerdo, or actually Michael Wilkes, I'm sorry, is the final car on the lead lap. Jimmy Crow begins our lap down car. So if we were to get a caution, then Mr. Crow can hang on to the wave around right there, get himself back on the lead lap. Crow's in the middle of this bunch right here at the front, too. He's the 3rd car on the outside row, right behind Jason Beach. But
Yeah,
he's
right
a
now,
lap down.
Going to be fighting with that 10 car coming up on him to the Harold Deckard. They are in the battle right now for the lucky dog spot. And it looks like he's going to let Deckard go by. I don't know if he knows he's fighting him.
Yeah, now it is Deckard that has the lucky dog in hand. This is the Old Fart Super Speedway Series, Joe. Race 5 of the season. They are it's a little about 10 laps shy of halfway right now. We've already been through one full set of pit stops for everybody on the green.
And Larry Yingling is showing why he's the points leader right now. He's pretty much been the Pied Piper of this race so far.
Yeah, I think he's led all but about 2 laps of this thing.
And that was only for pit stops.
But LG Whaley now going to start putting some pressure on him from the high side here with Jason Beach right behind him pushing. Michael Hauser behind that. So, 6 deep, 2 wide at the front. But 2 of those cars, lap cars. Oh, somebody blowing it up down on the Gabe Butler. The pusher for Yingling just blew the motor, stayed in, tucked in too long.
And that's the worst place to blow your motor. He's got to go all the way down the back stretch and around the track. He's going to lose a lot of time here.
Be surprised if he loses a couple of laps, if he can even make it around and doesn't have to tow. Because they do have a couple of resets.
They do, yes. They have 2 resets, and he's definitely going to have to use one here if he can get back to his pit stall. Trying to minimize the length of time. I don't know if he's going to have. It's going to be close.
We'll try to keep an eye. We'll go back and see how far he's made progress.
Now that has shaken the lead up quite a bit.
He might make it. He's on pit road.
Whaley and Jason Beach to get by Yingling there. They've come down to the bottom in front of him, putting him back to 3rd on the inside line. And Michael Hauser now fighting Whaley for the lead spot.
Butler did make it to pit road, so he's going to go at least 1 lap down here. These guys will go by him before he can get off pit road.
Didn't make it to his pit stall and has gotten his reset. He's going to take 4 tires as the field goes by.
So Hauser led that lap. He's got Tony Wright right there behind him. The 10 car, a lap car, 1 lap down. That is your lucky dog car right now. That 10 car of Harold Deckard. 3rd car on the outside row. That gap not really closing up to that second group back here. They're about 5 seconds back. Larry Boyle, Rachel Hunt, several of these cars back here. And it's a big group. There's about 20 of them, but they are just not closing the gap on these guys at the front.
Yeah, since they got back together, they've gained about a 10th in 5 laps. So not closing that much at all. So now they're starting to pick it up. They gained another tenth there, now to 4.7 seconds behind the lead. So they're coming, but it's going to take a little while.
There's still Hauser, Whaley, Wright, Beach, and Yingling at the front.
These guys are closing up here on Hornet, who's currently 3, about to go 4 laps down.
Yeah, he was in that second group that went to pit road about lap 19.
Yeah, he must have had some sort of issue. He spent a long time on pit road. His total pit stop time was 190 seconds, so
That's
not
over 3
sure
minutes.
What happened with him?
Wow. Well, that will get you out of the running to pick up a win, but if somebody has a problem, crashes out, and you can stay out there and make laps, you can still pick up some points.
Absolutely.
Oh, down on the apron, Beach's car shot out of line. He got that thing back just before he got to the entry to turn 1. That might have been deadly.
Yeah, that we saw that what happens in real life last week at Daytona, but yeah, you definitely do not want to touch that apron in the corners. Hauser and Tony Wright now battling for the top spot. Decker gives a good shot to Tony Wright here to get him out front, and it looks like he's going to lead this lap.
Craig White is the 3 car, and he is way back here in a group that is about 3 or 4 laps down. Considerably back of the field. They are about 20 seconds behind that lead pack. Somebody was asking in the chat. Uh-oh, there goes somebody down on the inside of the backstretch. 67. Larry Yingling was down on the apron at speed. And Hauser's car, it just vanished. Michael Hauser's car, he just absolutely vanished. That may have been what caused Yingling to get down on the apron. Now everybody kind of spread out. Tony Wright, Noel Coers, and LG Whaley are 1, 2, 3, but lap cars have gotten around, and they are bracketing Tony Wright right now. Harold Decker and Jimmy Crow. So Jimmy Crow has the lucky dog because Decker got his lap back the old-fashioned way.
And I have crashed a desktop.
Oh, no. I wonder if we're having a server issue because a bunch of cars have been blinking all night. Guys have been falling out. LG Whaley now with a bid for the lead around the top side with Larry Yingling pushing him. So put the 99 machine out in front. Dude Conrad up to 3rd. Maurice Johnson and Raymond Rittenauer. All those guys made it around Tony Wright on the high side while Wright was stuck in between lap cars. Out on the outside, or I believe that's Rittenauer's car. No, it is not Rittenauer's car. But Jimmy Crow just got around to the 27 machine there. Actually, that's the 87, and it was Rittenauer that was on the outside. So he runs in the 6th spot. LG Whaley, with a power move to the outside, had a little bit of help from his friends, and he took over the lead. And these guys all single file now. Some of these guys are going to be coming to pit road again here pretty quick. if they're going to stay on their same strategy.
Yeah, they kind of have to now. They forced their own hand.
Oh, hello, Michael. Apparently, I have a singular fan. He does not keep me cool, though, I can tell you that.
That's one more fan than I got.
He's only got one blade, and it wobbles, so... You able to work your way back in yet?
I am reloading right now.
Outstanding. It's still Whaley out in front of Yingling. Conrad, Johnson, Wright, your top 5. Everybody single file, but now the group has grown, and I think it's because they lapped a few cars. But we're also all the way back here to about 19th place. On the back of that line, Frank Gramuglia and Charles Johnson. No, Paul Witt. Excuse me, Paul Witt. And that group now has caught the leaders. So we went from 12 to 20, just like that. And here come cars. Tony Wright headed down pit road. L.G. Whaley headed down pit road. So these guys are staying on their strategy, about 20 laps per run. Left side tires for Whaley. Rachel Hunt getting left side tire. That car really still leaning over. Doesn't look like it's sitting back there. It goes back on the ground. Larry Yingling took over the lead. Dude Conrad and Maurice Johnson giving him the push. Lap car right behind them. And that is, I should know this by now, Harold Decker. And these guys pass up pit road again. They're going to probably go about 4 more laps. So pit stop starting to happen. Round 2.
And Rick McKinney currently coming off pit road.
The front group coming out of turn 4 right now. We'll see if any of these guys peel off. Everybody staying in line. About 18 of them out there. One car absent from this group all of a sudden, Jimmy Crow's car. Jimmy must have went back on the pit road.
Looks like he did. He's back out there with Jason Beach and LG Whaley right now.
I missed him when those guys went to pit road, and he must have been at the very back of that line. Once again, Yingling bypassing pit road, and everybody staying in line with him. .196 miles an hour through turns 1 and 2.
All in a day's work.
Feels like a Sunday drive.
Boy.
Expect this group to come in, maybe not this time, but next time. And here comes a group. Oh, somebody's got the inside fence hard back there. I don't know who that was.
David Overstreet.
Yes, it was David Overstreet. Good catch. That car. Going to have to use a reset for that left front fender.
And it looks like he just locked it down, got a little loose coming off of 4 there, trying to get Woe down, and continues on. That does not pull out a caution here, so we're still green.
Coming down off the jack. Still waiting for some fuel here, it looks like. Now he's going to get away, but he may lose this draft. Watching Yingling and company to see if they come this time or if they wait until lap 45. But looks like they're all headed in this time, that whole group. Dude Conrad way down to the bottom and real fast getting in there, but I think he got it woed up. Maurice Johnson, Raymond Rittenauer, Eric Laurie, and Paul Witt. Chris Hanna. I think Larry Boyle's in that group. He pulls his into his pit stall. Nobody has passed these guys up yet to take the lead away.
And as they're coming off pit road here comes that group with LG Whaley leading the pack here.
LG Whaley, Tony Wright. Oh, they're going to get a pretty good gap on these guys again. Lap car of Jimmy Crow still in there. Jimmy Crow is the lucky dog if we catch a caution.
Yep, the only other person fighting him for it right now is Gabe Butler, and Gabe Butler is about 6 seconds behind Jimmy right now.
So Yingling and company got out in front of these guys, and they're able to maintain. That's some pretty good work getting on and off pit road.
That's very impressive.
Getting down to about 30 laps to go here.
Pack coming up on Al Cena, about to put him 4 laps down.
Cena going to stay way to the top side and let these guys have the whole track here. Tony Wright on the high side getting a push there from Hauser.
After that round of pit stops, that leaves us with 27 cars on the lead lap. All 39 who started the race are still in it.
No cautions as of yet. Knock, knock, knock. 3 wide at the front of the field. Whaley and Beach went to the high side. Hunt looks like a little indecisive. Don't know which line to go with.
And she's going to go up there with her teammates. She's teammates with the 99 and the 26 there, so not surprising to see her go up there at this point.
They could sure use about one more car, and I think they can make a pretty good run at this.
Singleton decides he might be, and yes, he's going to be that car.
So we made it past halfway before we started serious 3 wide racing.
Yep. Great racing going on in the lead pack right now.
Yep. 3 wide, 4 deep. Still about 20 cars in this pack. Some of them are laps down, but everybody out there still racing hard for positions. Now the top line going to file back in. Going to get too wide instead of staying out there. Just couldn't make any progress.
Yeah, they weren't all that formed up, and they only really had 3 cars that were, really close together. So it just, as we usually see the third line, they get a good run at the beginning, and then it just kind of stalls out on them.
Beginning lap number 50, 26 to go, so at least one more round of pit stops.
Yeah, right now everybody's trying to get to the magic number of lap 56. So if you can make it to lap 56, you're good to go to the end. So you do have to kind of plan for 2 green-white checkers if we need them, but the way this race has gone, I'm not so sure that we will.
No, but the intensity usually ratchets up in the last 10 laps, so give about 15 more laps and we might see some guys start to make some moves. Still 2x2 parade. Lap cars mixed in with the lead lap cars. And I think Yingling's probably wrapped it up to have most laps led by now.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be anybody who's going to be able to top that.
Well, you don't catch the points leader by letting him get all the bonus points.
No. And he's going to try to maximize it here. He's in position. I don't think anybody's going to give him too much here for the win if he can help it.
Looking at
pushes him ahead.
Looking at the cars going forwards and backwards. LG Whaley up 24 spots. Did he start that deep in this field?
He did.
That's impressive.
Looks like he started 27th on the field. Your leader, Tony Wright, started 19th. Gary Lingling, of course, has led the most laps and is leading another one right now. Biggest mover of the race right now, though, is Noel Coors. In the 15 car, he started 37th and is now running 6th position.
Getting close to the window. And LG Whaley goes to the high side for 3 wide. Is he going to have help?
Doesn't look like it. Going to go to the back of this pack.
His teammates down on that inside line. Couldn't give him a gap to get in there, so it looks like LG's probably going to drop a ways back here.
He's going to fall in behind Robbie Singleton here.
And it's going to slate him about 9th right now. Car might have started getting hot and he had to jump up.
Very possible. And again, he probably also did that move so he could come back here and get back with his teammates.
Yeah, because now Beach has moved out of line, and he's gotten back in front of Jason Beach, and those two probably setting up for their last pit stop within the next couple of laps here. Not a lot of changing going on that outside line. Not able to really do anything. Engling's still out in front. Dude Conrad doing a great job of keeping him up there.
These guys all work together. And Maurice Johnson, they're all teammates, so not surprising to see them all nose to tail right now. And just as we speak, they're pulling away. Tony Wright moves out of line.
He was out in front of that second group. They just did a switch right there. He and Meixel.
And here we are getting ready to complete lap 56. So if you pit now, you can make it on fuel.
Yep, 19 laps to go in this one, and not a caution to be found. And everybody's starting to get single file now. So pit stops imminent.
Paul Witt, Frank Lamuglia, and Larry Boyle all on pit road as we speak. Bunch of others in that back second group coming in now as well.
Yeah, that's a group in about 18th through 20th back there. And nobody at the front taking pits this time. As they get Howlett, Hanna, and some of those guys going to go a lap down now. I see 19 still on the lead lap.
Yep. Larry Boyle now goes a lap down.
He tried to blend in with that group of leaders right there.
And that really shook things up.
Yeah, it made guys have to get out of line. I wonder if some of these guys were thinking about pitting right here. Doesn't look like it. More cars down on the apron coming off pit road as the leader streak passed.
And looks like we've had our first retiree on lap 59. Michael Martin has taken his car behind the wall.
Got a feeling that pit stops have to start here. Just any lap now. There they go. There goes Whaley and company.
Which means we'll see Yuri Lingling and crew in about 5 more laps.
Yeah, watching Tony Wright. LG Whaley already in his pits. Beach comes in right behind, or right in front of him, excuse me. Rachel Hunt now shown as my leader, but that's not correct. There, Yingling's back. Yeah, it was showing Rachel Hunt as the leader, not Gary or Larry Yingling.
Huh.
On the ticker it was right, but on my timing screen it was completely wrong. Well, they go around again, so nothing changing at the front.
Now, the one thing this does for them, the strategy they're on, they will be able to take less fuel and still be able to make it to the end. So the chance of them keeping this lead are growing here.
Yeah, no tires and just fuel maybe. Try not to spin the tires coming off pit road. Still staying out, Yingling, Conrad, Johnson, Rittenauer, and Overstreet, your top 5.
And right now, it's the top 4 that are nose to tail. You've got to go 13 seconds, almost 14 seconds back before you get to 5th place Overstreet.
Yeah. I actually thought he was on the back of that group. That is not his car. He's one of the cars that got past it, was coming off a pit road there the second time that they went by. The O2 car.
Yep.
Is that LG Whaley coming off a pit road
That
again?
Was. Better go back and see what happened to him.
Yeah, yeah. May have had a pass-through penalty. Speeding on exit or something.
Looks like that was the case, yeah. So LG Whaley had to serve a pit road penalty.
And that will pretty much probably knock him out of this thing, as he's 2 laps down now.
Right now, we're waiting at the moment before these guys pit. We have 16 cars remaining on the lead lap.
Still no pit from the leaders. Yeah, Larry Boyle in a pretty good spot there. He's right in this pack with the leaders. And he's already been on to pit road, so depending on how it shakes out when they go in, if he can get all the way around, he may be in here battling for this lead, because these guys are stretched away from that next group about 14 seconds back to Eric Laurie in 5th. Now everyone after the top 6 has already, top 7, excuse me, has already made their 3rd pit stop. There they come. Here comes Yingling. Ooh, locked up the front wheels, getting on to pit road. So Tony Wright and company still headed down the backstretch. Not even to turn 3 yet. Yingling and crew coming off of pit road. Right.
I got a feeling they're going to keep this lead.
They are going to keep the lead, because those guys were just coming off of turn 4 when they rolled across the stripe. So this front 4 right here, that is your top 4. Yingling, Conrad, Johnson, and Rittenauer, all the way back to that black car, the 87 machine. They can get up to speed. They're going to be able to hang on to this lead. We'll get a look as they come down here into turn 3, how far behind that other pack is. They are several hundred yards back, about half a straightaway. They're in the middle of 3 and 4.
Seconds.
I was going to say, they're in the middle of 3 and 4, and that group is right in the entry back there a second ago. So about the length of pit road really is what's separating them.
Right now, the race for the lead is a 4-car breakaway. as you have to go 4.3 seconds back. Fifth place right now, that would be Tony Wright, who is on the outside of the line. 2 cars in front of him, Kenneth Mikesell and Jason Beach, both laps down at this point.
My scoring actually shows Mikesell in 5th and Wright in 6th.
So, okay.
Mikesell got it around Beach. They're starting to close the gap. They picked up about 3/10 that lap. I just think at that small of an increment, you're going to run out of laps, and it's going to get decided up here at the front.
Yeah, we're under 10 to go, coming to 7 to go here.
Six cars in the line at the front, but only 4 of them on the lead lap. Your front 4 right there. Yingling, Conrad Johnson, and Rittenauer. See Conrad peeking the right corner out, trying to get a little air. .5 seconds back to the next group, so they are just not going to have enough time if they don't start getting a little bigger chunks out of this lead to get up here and challenge for this.
Yeah, they're going to need a lot more than a 10th a lap here. That's just not going to be enough.
About 6.5 laps to go. It has been green from the start. No cautions at all.
And these guys have been doing a great job out here. We've seen 3 wide, we've seen double file, we've seen just about everything so far. And to keep it green the whole way, that's pretty impressive.
Several different pit strategies, but these guys right here, these front 4, are pretty much stuck to their 21-22 laps. So with 6 to go, series points leader and win leader is out in front.
Can he make it 3 in a row?
Could make it 3 in a row. We'll see what happens on that last lap. Conrad probably trying to already figure out what he's going to do. That group behind only picked up about 2/10 that last lap, so they're definitely going to run out of time unless something happens in this front group. Five to go right here at the line. Front 4. Then 2 lap cars, and then it's another 3.1 seconds. Back to Rachel Hunt in 5th position. Jason Beach, the 26 car on the inside, a lap off the pace. So the pink and white machine, the Toyota on the outside, running in 5th. Tony Wright right behind her. Oh, now Wright goes to the inside as Beach moved to the high side. That is going to move Tony Wright into the 5th position. Now the shakeup starting to happen. Rittenauer and Johnson have pulled out to the outside. This may let that group behind start to close in. We may have a big pack on the last couple of laps. Maurice Johnson leading the outside row, trying to make something happen in the closing laps. He's got Raymond Rittenauer pushing him. Gabe Butler in that outside line. Gabe Butler was running in the front pack early. had engine issues, went to pit road to get it fixed, and now he's back out there a couple of laps down, but pushing into the lead pack.
And I apologize. Dude Conrad actually won last week. Yuri Lingling won the previous week, so
I gotcha.
that was my mistake.
So he'll try to restart the string. 2 seconds now with 2 to go. I just don't think that second pack has got enough to get up here. This is going to be decided amongst these front 4 cars. Oh, big crash.
And we're heading to overtime.
Yes, we will.
That's everything.
Coers was in that. Drop back real quick and take a look. See what we can see down this front stretch.
Easton Beach pushing Kenneth Mikesell. Just got into him just a little bit off of center and bump hooks him right into the outside wall.
Yep. Got off that right rear corner just a little bit. And it only collected about 4 cars there, but it was enough. Beach, Coers.
Michael Hauser also getting a piece of that.
Yep, Hauser got a chunk of it. So that'll set us up for an interesting finish now at overtime.
Just when you thought you knew what was going to happen.
Well,
this changes everything.
Caution number 1
Went on
comes
lap 74
Yep.
of 75.
comes right at the beginning of 2 to go. So the pace car has not picked up the field just yet, but we are anticipating that any time now. And we'll try to get a look at our lineup here.
Yeah, it's going to be a while. Pace car just entered turn 4, and these guys are just now going into 3.
I think a lot of these guys trying to save a little fuel for that overtime run.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because a lot of these guys were calculating on a green flag finish, stopping right at the point of just being able to make it to the normal finish. So we'll have to wait and see here. Now the field hasn't caught the pace car yet, so
Rachel Hunt's car damaged, and she's waiting at the entrance of pit road so that she doesn't get a black flag going in passing cars. And now the field single file behind the pace car. Yingling, Johnson, Conrad, Rittenauer, Singleton, that top 5. Jimmy Crow was the wave, so he'll get back on the lead lap, have a at least a fighting chance back here in about 20th.
yep, that'll give us from my showing here
21?
it's about 21 cars on the lead lap.
So now we're going to go back to a side-by-side start. And until today, on the starts, the leader had not led the first lap. So we'll see if Mr. Johnson can make it happen when it counts.
And he's going to have his teammate, Duke Conrad, right behind him. So good work out for him here. Is it possible Yingling's out of fuel?
Either out of fuel or trying to save fuel, because it looks like he's getting a big push from that 9 car there. Gary Jenkins.
He does not come down pit road. But we'll have to wait and see, as several do.
If he's that close, they get another caution. He may be in a whole lot of trouble.
Yeah, because we have one more green-white checker to have to get through if we need it. Still have 33 cars remaining in the field, and 22 are now back on the lead lap.
Yeah, Rachel Hunt back in 22nd, the last of those. Although I think we'll see that 19 car have to drop all the way back to Jimmy Crow for getting the wave around.
Yep. Yeah, he should be at the end of the longest line.
So what was a pretty uneventful race has suddenly turned into a little bit of a nail-biter.
And none more so than for Larry Yingling. You've led the most laps. You had it in the bag, and 2 laps to go. Now you got to restart and do it all over again.
Yeah, and you're having to be pushed around under pace on the apron. So there's a lot of indicators that he might be in a little bit of a pickle here at the end of this thing.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how it works out.
Should get the one to go this time. The field should start forming up 2 by 2. Which could mean that the 9 car will no longer be behind the 67 car.
Yeah, he is laps down in 32nd. He's 4 laps down, so he should be moving to the back of the field here very soon. I can't remember a time I've had a teammate who was laps down come push me around the track to save fuel. Can you?
No, I can't remember a time when league I raced in allowed that. There you see it, the 9 car dropping back, and now Yingling on the bottom, all by himself. Conserving that fuel. Clutch in, engine off, I'm sure. First attempt, green, white, checkered, a.k.a. overtime.
And the other thing these guys have got to worry about, they've been out there for several laps on these tires. Bending your tires on a restart.
Yep.
Bad news.
Yingling going to stay down there at least through turns 3 and 4, it looks like. 22 cars still with a real opportunity to win this thing. And knock, knock, knock. We have not seen the big one.
No, we haven't. But I got a feeling we're going to go 3 wide real quick here as the pace car ducks off for possibly the final time. And I'm going to have to pull them all the way around here through the tri-oval at 70 mile an hour. Green is out. We're back underway for the first attempt at the green-white checker.
Doesn't look like a whole lot. There's a car moving lines. I said not a whole lot of shuffling here as we get to turn 1. Normally, somebody's going to do something. That's about the time they do it. I'll bet the next lap gets pretty hectic, though.
Oh, yeah. Here they go, 3 wide.
Back at about 8.
A good push. Tony Wright ducks out on him.
Johnson now has caught Yingling on the top side. Oh, Rittenauer couldn't stay hooked up. That may give the advantage back to Yingling when we get ready to come to the white here.
And they've got to get to the line for it to be over. Should a caution come out.
It looks like we're going to make it.
And they do. Next flag will end this race.
And now they're 3 wide close to the front.
White flag is out. Here we go.
Colors way up top, and he's going to try to make a run at it here down the backstretch off the top side, bring the hill with him. There's a car pulling out. That's Tony Wright. Moved to the outside. They're going to be 3 wide heading into turn 3. Johnson needs a push now from whoever's behind him. Get locked on the bumper. Moved him out of the way. Oh, this is the big one. Off turn 4, but we're going to finish it up. We're watching the 2 leaders. Yingling's down the inside. It looks like Yingling's probably going to hang on to this.
He does.
Yingling, Johnson, and then I think maybe Dude Conrad. No, Darren Reeser snuck in there and grabbed 3rd.
How Yingling saved that, I'll never know. Because
That
he
was really good.
sideways.
Go back, take a quick peek. But what happened? They're coming down the back stretch now.
Maurice Johnson gets a big bump in the middle of the corner by Robbie Singletary, and that pushes him down into the 2 cars below him.
Chain reaction behind. Yep. Chain reaction behind. So we'll get our top 3. Yingling, Johnson, and Reeser. We'll grab them, move them down here, and get a chance to chat with them.
And Larry Yingling gets his 3rd win of the season.
Third win of the season, and he picks up right where he left off 2 weeks ago after the interruption in the string. All right. Let's see. Well, let's get Mr. Reeser. Let me find his name in the list here. I don't see him in the list. Do you see him?
What are you looking for?
Reeser.
Let me see.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
there he is. There he is. Darren Reeser, you got a copy. Hello, Darren.
lot going on there, wasn't he?
Hey, you guys made it pretty exciting at the end. Darren, are you there, sir?
I am.
All right, man. Well, you come home in third in this one. Exciting at the finish there. A little bit of overtime, man. Walk us through that last couple laps and how you end up on that third step of the podium.
Well, I mean, just, it came out like it did. That accident put me where I was. And, all I can say is that, it was almost a perfect finish there. We almost got through it. We hadn't made it past that white flag, we would have had another one. So it just is what it is, gentlemen.
A long race and a lot of green flags. You guys, everybody on kind of different strategies, and then that caution at the end brings everybody back together. When we're coming to 2 to go on the original part of the race before we went to overtime, any thoughts at all that maybe we'd have this crazy finish like this?
No, well, that's just what this all is. It's hard to. You can have all your strategies, but it just takes one wreck or one thing or one miss pit stall or whatever. It only takes one thing, and you're doing it one thing at a time, and it only takes one thing. So no, it's a little crazy, and got a nice push there from Frank there at the very end to keep me up there. We had a little bit of a space there on the start. And I don't know. I think maybe that was the tires there in front of me, and but it just it worked out. That's just how it is.
Well, I'm sure you've got some people you'd like to thank, and then we'll let you celebrate a hard-earned podium finish tonight.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I do want to thank the team we're working with, the regulators, and Frank and Mike and Michael and Chris and Al and Paul, and I want to. Special thanks out there to LG picking me up after the pit stop there. I was out there by myself, and he picked me up and helped keep me up going in there. So I appreciate that, Mr. LG. Of course, I thank the old farts and Craig and LG and everything that everybody does to put this on. It's just a lot of fun. I look forward to it every week. And this was a really, really good race for us. Even though we had that at the end, it was just a really good race.
All right, man. Well, thanks for chatting with us. Congratulations on your third place finish, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
All right, that's your third place finisher. Dwayne, you got second place?
Yeah, Maurice Johnson. Maurice, man, it seems like we find you in this place quite frequently, just that close to a win. That was a great save, by the way, when you got hit in the rear end there coming out of turn 4. Talk about the end of that race a little bit for you tonight.
That was a great race all the way through. Enjoyed the race all the way. Our team had the strategy. Had we not had that caution, I think we were up and gone. But yeah, at the end, I don't know exactly what all happened. I just know my car was going sideways all at once, and had to get it back down on the track. And then Larry was coming up. I didn't know what he was doing, and I was trying to come down, and it was just a mess there for a while. But a good race all the way through.
Yeah, it was a great race. All but there on 2 laps to go, all green flags. So kudos to you guys. Anybody you got to thank for second place tonight?
Just same group of guys. Shaman Motorsports teammates: Larry Yingling, Gabe Butler, Rick Laurie, Duke Conrad, Gary Jenkins, and Raymond Whitner. We just work together, stay together as much as we can, and helping each other out. And that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we'll let you get out of here and celebrate your second, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Dwayne. Thanks for putting it on.
No problem. Roger?
Larry Yingling.
Yes, sir.
Well, all right, man. 3 times this year you have seen Victory Circle, and we weren't sure when that thing was staying under green originally if that was going to happen or if Maurice was going to be able to get you from the outside there. But another great win. You're going to extend your points lead, man. Talk to us about this race and picking up your 3rd win of the year.
Well, it was definitely a great race for the league. I believe last Dega race we went 60-something laps before the first caution. Here was to go until some lappers, I guess, took that one away. But, man, it was definitely a close one coming to the finish. I saw my fuel pressure dropping there.
Yeah, we noticed you were getting pushed around there under the caution, so you did not plan for green, white checkers, I take it?
Well, I was out front most of the time, so I had a lot less fuel than my teammates behind. But I was taking the same amount of fuel as them, so I knew it definitely would have been close if we had a green, white checker, and it was.
Well, Dwayne, you got any questions for Larry? Maybe Dwayne bailed on me. Either way, man, it was a fantastic run. At the end, did you get a little contact in the door there? Is that what moved you up the hill?
I felt something. I don't know if it was a door, maybe when they were hitting behind me, maybe it hooked my bumper. And then I saw no one behind me and beside me. I went up just to try and get a little bit of draft push. That was all the difference. Then I believe Darren came up behind me.
Are you back with me, Dwayne?
I'm here. Yep.
All right, you got anything for Larry?
Larry, great save, by the way. Know you had a little bit of contact there out of 4. And you guys looking forward to next week at Daytona?
Oh, yeah. We've had some good runs. I definitely love Talladega. I think I've won all 3 of them so far this season.
Yeah, so far you have been the Dega King. All right, man. Well, we'll let you get out of here and celebrate your win. Other than that, anybody else you got to thank?
Definitely my teammates, Dude Conrad, Gabe Butler, Eric Laurie, Raymond Rittenauer, Maurice Johnson, and definitely Gary Jenkins for the push during the caution.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on picking up your 3rd win of the year. We look forward to seeing you in a few weeks.
Thank you, guys.
All right. That is your winner. I don't know where those guys belong, so I'm just going to move them to a channel. But let's run through the results here real quick, if I can get that. Yingling, Johnson, Reeser, Gromuglia, and Rittenauer, your top 5. Conrad, Hanna, Overstreet, White, Howlett, rounding out that top 10. Oh, it's starting to get to me at the end of this, Dwayne. That cold is starting to tear me up a little bit.
I can take over. Tony Wright comes home 11. Jimbo Lasordo 12th. Noel Coors, I'm sorry, comes home 13th. Charles Johnson 14th. Mark Robertson 15th. Jimmy Crow 16th. Thomas Ackridge 17th. Brent Lay 18th. Rachel Hunt 19th. Larry Boyle is going to round out the top 20. 21st is going to be Robbie Singleton. Kenneth Mikesel 22nd. Paul Witt 23rd. Diego Vasquez 24th. Eric Laurie 25th. Harold Deckard 26th. Mitchell Wilkes 27th. 28th is going to be Jacob Edson. Michael Pegg 29th. Gabe Butler 30th. Gary Jenkins is going to be 31st. Al Cena brings it home 32nd. Hornet comes home 33rd. LG Whaley finishes 34th. Jason Beach 35th. Michael Hauser 36th. Paul Sheldon 37th. Michael Martin 38th. And 39th will go to Rick McKinney.
All right, man. Well, another great race for these guys. Yingling going to stretch out that lead, so by the time I make it back at the end of March to call the next one with you, he may have this thing all but wrapped up.
If he keeps doing what he's doing, he's certainly on his way. He may have this championship wrapped up early. These guys don't have a chase, so the more points he gets now, the better.
Yeah, another fantastic run. Still, the cream always rises to the top, and the guys that are at the top of the points were at the front towards the end of this thing tonight. Not only in overtime, but in the first 73 green flag laps of this race. So these guys really know what they're doing. They get out here on these super speedways. It's been a pleasure tonight. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for taking kind of the bulk of the thing with this cold kind of eating at me a little bit. But I greatly appreciate it, sir.
Oh, had fun. Can't wait to do it again.
All right. Well, I know that Rudy will be back next week with you. I've enjoyed the 2 that I've done. I know I got at least one more of these I'm going to do with you next month, so I'm looking forward to that. But for myself, Dwayne, Rudy, MaxSpeedTV crew, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Guys, don't forget to tune in every single night. There is something going on the channel. And these guys here on Saturday nights at it's 8 Eastern for the Old Farts Super Speedway Series. I have enjoyed my time. Thank you for tuning in again, and we will see you the next time. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.